And I don't know, I get it, I love it, I'm all for doing the old raids again,
Blizzard has finally released the first patch notes on patch 8.2.5, and could this be the last patch for BFA? No more patch 8.3? New expansion to launch sooner than ever? What? And the B mount, the crap mount, new raid for the anniversary, party sync, war campaign conclusion, and Magni sending us to get help from Wrathion. Get your drink, your snack, cause it's time for On Cooldown, baby, your weekly WoW news show on MarcelianOnline. Hey, you! Yeah, you. You know who it is, it's Flame.
And Marcelian!
And you know we're already doing this shit with On Cooldown every Friday, right? So get all your WoW news right here. And we're gonna kick it off immediately with the patch 8.2.5 patch notes, officially made by Blizzard. And I'm calling it, man. This is the last goddamn patch of BFA. That's it. I'm done. It's true.
Well,
show's over.
I don't know if it's the last patch of the BFA, but man, it's one of the biggest patches, half patches, minor patches that we've had so far.
Sure.
It's a lot of content, a lot of freaking mounts. Jesus, the mounts.
Mounts. But the weird thing is they have a lot of content like within the game. I mean, okay, we know about the cinematics. Yeah. We know that the war campaign is ending, but there's also an interesting line there: new quests and adventures. I talk about that in the segment, but nevertheless, man, there's a lot to talk about. I strongly believe this is the end of BFA, and if you think about it, we're like sort of in the same time frame as we were in Legion. Like right now in Legion 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, no, 2 years ago, we were in 7.3, which does technically make our 8.2 that 7.3, which 8.2.5 would be 7.3.5. I don't know if you understand what the fuck I'm saying here, but I believe it's the last patch.
I failed math, so I guess we're good. But I don't think there are a lot of people that would argue and want BFA to continue past 8.2.5.
Come on, man, 8.2 was alright, come on.
No, 8.2 is fine, and this kind of fights the speculations that we've had so far about the Stormwind raid. Are we going to have it in 8.2.5? Are we going to have it in 9.0?
It may be 9.0. I honestly believe they won't drop that, but we'll just have to see. It's all speculation and at this point, and I love doing that. Hope you guys love that too. But you know, not speculating, we do have a lot of shit coming in 8.2.5.
Yeah.
The party sync feature, which you will talk about a lot, right? We also have like the crap mount is now like people starting getting the crap mount. We have the B mount available on the P chat. You can see some information on that as well. We also speculate a bit on Magni sending us to get Wrathion and help us out.
Yeah, what Wrathion has been doing. I mean, we know the questline, but what does this mean going forward past the questline? Because the PTR doesn't have the entire questline. Is Blizzard just not feeding us all the information, or are we gonna, you know, have more in the next patch? Who knows? But is there going to be a next patch? It's for you to find out.
Let's see. Okay, I know Bellular and Taliesin and Evitil already talked about this, but come on, we started writing the script for this before all these were out, and it's only fair for us to take our spin on the matter, and we're still competing with TNE for the best WoW couple of 2019. Now, last episode we talked about what is to come at BlizzCon 2019 in regards to World of Warcraft, and specifically Sylvanas, which I speculated that she will be getting a full-blown cinematic to lead us into patch 8.3. But the thing is, after looking at these first notes, yeah, remember, these are the first notes on patch 8.2.5. There should be more to come, and also taking into account the fact that the war campaign is ending and the fact that two juicy cinematics are waiting for us, one 3 minutes and one 6 minutes long, it does appear that they would pull something like this to end a cycle, the BFA cycle. I mean, no 0.5 patch, which is a minor patch, has ever been packed like this one in regards to all the lore, quests and cinematics, and maybe, just maybe, they want to get rid of the BFA stigma and just move on to the new expansion, similar to how they did in Warlords of Draenor, if you remember. 6.2 was the last patch as they decided to scrap 6.3 to focus on Legion. Now, truth be told, I doubt they would leave the game with no content for as long as they did Warlords, so this is why maybe 8.2.5 is so packed with stuff. Even the line where they say that many new quests and adventures will be available across Azeroth? New quests and adventures across Azeroth? What the hell does this mean? If we take a look at the 4chan leak once again, and I'm not saying it's true, but there is one line which is of a particular interest to me, where it states that BFA's patch release schedule does feel a bit slower just because they want to get rid of the whole BFA thingy and just have a much quicker release of 9.0 after the release of 8.3. With this philosophy in mind, what if they just drop 8.3 altogether and at BlizzCon they will announce a brand new expansion with a beta and alpha client being available that very same week, and having the new expansion to be launched somewhere in April or March of 2020. And as 8.2.5 would explain a lot of the things, maybe 9.0 would be a transition story and possibly have us also get a mini raid as well. March or April would be stretching it, I know, and there's probably a good chance that they are setting up shop for another summer release as they did with Legion and Battle for Azeroth. But my only concern would be if patch 8.2.5 would have enough content to be able to bridge the gap if this mini patch would to be released at the end of September this year. You probably think I'm delusional, and I won't blame you if you do, but you have to admit, man, it's pretty weird for them to use a minor patch to conclude basically the whole story of BFA, adding to that 2 cinematics who summed up will produce the biggest cinematic time in the game's history. You cannot exclude the possibility of 8.2.5 being the last patch, especially when looking at the order of how they present the lore segments within the patch notes. They first say that tensions continue to rise between Saurfang, Anduin and Sylvanas, and we shall discover the fate of the Horde and the Alliance. Below this, and I'm assuming this would be the next chapter, with an Azeroth imminent emergence, we must seek help from Wrathion, having us to do stuff with Wrathion for the last segment of the patch and continuing on with him in 9.0. And remember, if they do this, my theory is that they will launch an alpha beta client which will probably answer even more questions raised by the gap between patches. Listen, this may just be another passionate WoW player, trying his hardest to make the game feel better, to have World of Warcraft become a better game. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you also want the same. And I'm also sure that the devs want the same thing. But hey man, that's not important. It's not important what I think. The most important thing is what you think. So throw it in the comments, man. What do you think? Is patch 8.2.5 the last one for BFA?
And in classic WoW news, Blizzard is giving more and more free realm transfers, and I love class.
How the fuck did he get in again? We've been talking a lot about the B mount in the last couple of months leading up to 8.2 and 8.2.5, and that's probably because of 2 main reasons. One, Alliance has been complaining in BFA that Horde is the only faction that's been getting really cool mounts. Like, really, Alliance? Really? And 2, well, wasn't really that much to talk about, to be fair, and the B mount is stupid. Oh my god, I want this so bad! Can I transfer all of my Horde roster to Alliance? Let's just all be bees! It looks like this patch is a major mount patch, and WoW's 15th anniversary will be a literal stable fiesta. Not only will we finally have the B mount, but the achievement to unlock the Snapback Scuttler, the world's best mount ever, can finally be completed, because the hardest part of this achievement is the time-gated periodic destruction. You can add this on top of the new goodies the Black Market Auction House will introduce as well in 8.2.5. Mounts aplenty, sure, but what's really important is the shoulder piece tusks of Manaroth, which I have been farming for over 4 years now. I have a feeling it's gonna cost so much gold, I'll end up selling another kidney. Although where I'll be able to find my 4th one is beyond me. But either way, there will be a link down below with the Wowhead articles showing dozens of cool new things to get in 8.2.5, which will further be known as the collectible patch. One new feature that I wanted to mention is the new party sync, which sounds actually really cool. How this works is, let's say you're questing in Northrend and you want your max level friend to help you. You guys group up, you activate the party sync, and now that friend will be on the same level you are able to replay old quests he or she completed in the past for rewards scaled down to their own level. I would imagine gold most likely, possibly experience points as well if the person is not yet maxed out. The one that will get scaled down will also have their extra talents and abilities removed to reflect their power level respective to the expansion they were playing. The actual level they will be at will be scaled to the max level of said expansion. This feature sounds really good on paper, and I cannot wait to actually play with my little sister who still has characters to level yet, and I have zero incentive to do so with my max tunes as of now. Not to mention, questing that way now reduces the XP the person gets and is just weird, so all in all, party sync, yes!
And today's comment of the day comes from Andreas Evald Skeletor Karla, you say it. And he said,
I like turtles.
Clearly a man who followed last week's episode religiously, paying close attention to all the topics, he managed to construct a sentence to conclude all the information in a relevant and decisive form. From all of us at the Making It to the Water Corporation,
Come back with some better stories.
as we're getting close to the 15th anniversary of World of Warcraft, in the same patch notes we are informed that new raids are upon us. Well, technically they are old raids, but nevertheless, we will have to fight 3 bosses from Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm, with each of these expansion raids having separate wing tiers in the raid fighter. Now, in order to be able to do this, you will need a minimum of 380 item level, and to be honest, I really wanted to have these made in a more difficult setting. I mean, I know we have time walking for urges like that, and Firelands from Cataclysm is the next time walking raid to be on the spot, and in all honesty, this is one of the best raids they did, at least judging by the community perception, but come on man, it's 15 years of World of Warcraft and none of these bosses were easy when they first launched. Anyways, at least after you finish with all these bastards, you will get the achievement Memories of Fel, and with that, the Worldbreaker mount, which we covered in a previous episode but still hold our ground. It has to be one of the best looking mounts in World of Warcraft history. And look at that! It's not a store mount.
We talked about Rathian being a major lore character in 8.2.5 previously, and now, with other information available, maybe his involvement is even larger than we initially thought. We know Rathian is supposed to help Ebonhorn get rid of N'Zoth's promotional adverts in his mind, which he does, because apparently Rathian has been studying the old gods for some time now and is capable of resisting their influence. What does this mean? Well, for one thing, it's a very good excuse for us to delve into the deep old god realms without them corrupting us, aka Blizzard's way of explaining how Garrosh, Ebonhorn, Deathwing have been corrupted, but not us. This is a very strong indication that our next journey is Ny'alotha. I mean, if there was ever a time to get there and not be driven mad by old god voicemails, then now is the time, since we have Rathian's Madness Aspirin on hand. The PTR questline with Rathian still stops at the point where we cure Ebonhorn with no more Rathian, or any Rathian actually seen for that matter. Which is weird because we already data mined its model, meaning a few things. One, the questline is not over and Blizzard will release the rest as 8.2.5 PTR is going, or directly on the live servers where we will finally get to meet Rathian once again, or 2, Rathian will appear into a cinematic leading to 8.3 or the 9.0 pre-patch. If the 8.2.5 is the last patch, theory will come to be true. What do you guys think?
Hey, congratulations, you made it so far. Might as well have a little bit of a talk and conclude what the hell did we talk about on today. So I think, first off, I think I made my point clear. There's a lot of reason to believe Blizzard will not release a new patch after 8.2.5. There's also always that scramble of a doubt. It doesn't make that much sense for them to not do it, but we'll just have to see. I'm pretty convinced they won't, but man, I'm waiting for BlizzCon like air.
And I mean, you know, I'm kind of excited for BlizzCon as well. Every time they kind of messed up, next year they made up for it in a spectacular fashion. So
Hope so.
I'm really curious to know what's gonna happen in this year's BlizzCon. And hey, I'm excited for 8.2.5, man. There's a lot
too.
of content there. There's a lot
too.
of quests, and I'm hoping that what we have right now on PTR is not everything that we're gonna be getting, because there's still some holes need to be filled. Our campaign is ending. In
Well,
8.2.5.
yeah, that's one of the base reasons that I have, because you know, that's basically the story of BFA, man. I mean, it's not much. The war campaign evolved into tits and bits over there, but it's basically the story of the expansion. If that's ending in 8.2.5, what the fuck is next? Isn't it logical to have an expansion? But
Yeah, I would
let's
imagine
remain on solid ground here, man. I think the new party sync feature is awesome.
Oh yeah, man. I've actually said it before in the video that I have a sister that just started playing WoW, and I want to play with her all the time, but I just don't want to level again. And being able to take one of my max tunes and go back and do some quests and even redo the quest, replay the quest, I think that's actually pretty cool. I even get rewards, so yay for me. And we're not sure yet, but those rewards might even be reputation. So if you ever wanted to grind that reputation for the Wormrest Temple or the Anglers, whatever in Pandaria, you can now redo the quests.
Yeah, and if you also want to grab some reputation with Marcelian&Online, you can always check us out on twitch.tv/Marcelian&Online.
Oh, that segue.
Oh my god, I just did that shit. So yeah, we stream, I mean, he streams, I'm in the background all the time, like on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Saturdays. We do a lot of like Mythic Plus runs with viewers, sometimes raids.
Sometimes missing keybinds.
Yeah, we tend to do that sometimes. So if you enjoy our content, our guides, our weekly show, you can always drop by to the stream, hit us with a follow, you know, hang out, have some good times in World of Warcraft, or maybe join our beautiful Patreon team. I mean, if you want to, of course, there's no requirements, man, no requirements. We still love you for being here and watching. But if you want to do that extra mile, you can always check the Patreon over there. We have lovely people, just lovely people there who make it an effort every month to help us out with all this YouTube thing and Twitch thing and everything that we do. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And all the details in our wallets and all the details are in the description. All in all, thank you very much for watching the video. We do hope you had a lovely week that has ended, and we wish you a great weekend ahead. Peace
Later.
out.